Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Good Bad Score. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Collin.
And today we are going to do a discussion on the season 2 of The Boys. So, The Boys just began a couple weeks ago. There has been 4 episodes of the season, and we're pretty much at the midway point now. So we thought we'd talk about our thoughts on the season. And by the way, there is going to be spoilers in this episode, so if you have not seen the first 4 episodes of The Boys, get out now, because we are going to talk about this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, tell us, Con, what is your thoughts on Boys Season 2?
Well, what we're getting from Boys Season 2 is something that I was very thankful for, is that it feels like a natural continuation from the first season. A lot of times when these popular shows get on their first season and have a big success, they kind of become a little too influential from that first season and trying to replicate what worked before. This time, I like the direction they're going into, where it's not the same kind of structure of the first season. It feels like a natural continuation with the stories, especially at the end of the last season with the big reveal with Homelander having a kid. I think that I would say the main storyline has to do with both the boys versus the Seven, kind of trying to take Homelander down and trying to kind of save each other's asses, per se. The next kind of big storyline is Homelander and his child. I kind of like that it feels very much like an abusive relationship that really isn't even all that physical for someone who has all this power. Homelander is just such a force to be reckoned with. I got him at Anthony Starr as Homelander. You love to hate Homelander. He is such the perfect villain that we need in a time like this, especially how The Boys is very influential on the Justice League, and how we're not getting a lot of love from the Superman side of it on the DC side. The idea that you're getting an asshole Superman, per se, and Anthony Starr does a great job balancing to where you get how he's playing that kind of suave superhero that could have the attention of the masses while completely scaring everyone to death with what he's going to do next. And yet, I was surprised to see there are some characters that are not even scared of Homelander, and yet they are a threat to him. And it's so amazing how this season's going. I'll go more into it as we get on. But Andrew, what are you thinking of The Boys Season 2 Part 1?
I am loving the first half of The Boys Season 2. The first 2 episodes I thought were good, but I didn't think they were outstanding. But when we got to that 3rd episode, I loved it. When they, oh my god, when the boys took that speedboat and just went through that freaking whale, I just got totally excited. I mean, I don't approve of animal violence whatsoever, but man, that was just satisfying. I just cheered. I mean, Butcher does not give a damn about anything. One thing I gotta say, I'm definitely finding myself more attached to the boys this season. Not this like the characters themselves, the whole team of the boys. Butcher, Huey, Mother Milk, and the rest of the gang. I find myself really attached to them. Like the first season, I kind of found myself more invested in the Seven, and now this season I really find myself more invested in this gang. I feel like this season we're seeing more of a vulnerable side of each of them, and you could tell there's a divide now. There's a lot of uncertainty of who to trust, and you can tell they're still trying to hold together, but there is this question of, are we doing the right thing? Is this going too far? But they're still being loyal to Butcher, as we see. And I agree with you, man. Anthony Starr is the star of this season. He is fantastic. Like, he's evil, and yet he brings charm to that character, too. He just steals every scene that he is in, and you are totally invested, and you are terrified of Homelander. And I just love how we're exploring more of that character this season. I mean, you could tell he's a character who really wants to be loved, but he's a character who wants dominancy and control. I just love how phony he is when he's on these like press conferences and talk shows, especially that talk show scene with him and Queen Maeve. That scene was like, he was so funny, and yet it was, what a dick he was in that scene when he reveals about Queen Maeve's sexuality. It was totally mean, but I love that part when they ask about diversity in the Seven, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we have A-Train, he's black. We have Black Noir. I mean, I can't identify that he's black."
That's pretty much what it felt like. It just felt like he was just trying to like make up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he brings so much humor to that character, and yet you are terrified. But the season is just so intense. I mean, my heart is just racing every scene. Collin, do you have any like favorite moments? Any moments that really struck to you watching The Boys season 2?
Well, I say what I liked the most about these 4 first episodes is the relationship with Huey and Annie. I think that these two, it's such a realistic relationship. Well, not realistic. It feels genuine because it's not all the like, oh, it's the typical, we love each other, we don't, we love, like, there's so much kind of in between. Just like, they like each other so much, but it's just not safe for them to be together. There was a kind of point where those two were kind of bickering with each other, which was justified of how much he just keeps lying to her. But I feel like now is the kind of point where I like to see them together with that caveat, like they really can't be together. I also want to mention Stan Edgar, who is the guy who has control over Homelander. He's so intimidated in this. And yet, I find it that these first 4 episodes have not used him all that much. I do think that he's going to play such a big part as we get into the last 4 episodes of the season. I like the fact that you have these big, strong superheroes, and yet they could have real, just normal people feel very intimidating against them. Like you mentioned with Butcher, I could really see Butcher and Homelander kind of at odds, where while Homelander is more the brute force, while Butcher is kind of trying to think his way to outsmart him. I think that this is definitely something to where has a lot of promise for these first 4 episodes. I'm very satisfied with what's going on, but I think that going forward, I think we just scratched the surface on what this season's going to be all about.
So yeah, one of the things I really do appreciate about this season, I mean, first of all, there's so many characters in this series, which can feel convoluted sometimes, but the way they're doing it this season, it doesn't feel convoluted. It doesn't feel like there's too much being thrown at you, because it's all playing into one thing. But one of the things I do want to point out too, which I'm liking a lot too, is the Deep story. You know, in the first season, he was a jerk. We all hated him, what he did to Starlight. And I feel like this season is sort of understanding where the Deep is coming from. He's this guy who's insecure. He's got these gills on his stomach, and they actually talk. I mean, that was a weird scene, but I think it gives you an opportunity to understand where the Deep is coming from and his insecurity in real life, and how, you know, Homelander, for instance, we saw in that scene where you could see his suit was like a little bit torn up. You can see his gills, and he like tells him like, close it up, it's disgusting. You know, I really like how they're kind of humanizing some of these characters in the Seven, even Queen Maeve, for example, as well. You know, I really like those really heavy moments, and, you know, even a big moment too. Butcher, you know, goes to his wife. It seems like everything's going well, and he tells her, let's get out of here the next day, let's escape this facility that you're trapped in with Vaughn by taking care of the kid. And, you know, she tells him, as like, I don't think I want to go with you. I mean, I see what you've done to all these superheroes. Are you going to do that to my son? Are you going to kill him? Now it seems like where it's kind of leading into now, Butcher really has to prove himself to his wife that he is a better person than that. So we'll have to see where that goes. So my prediction of how this season's going to go, I think now that A-Train is out of the Seven, I definitely think he is going to team up with the boys. Because I think now he wants vengeance, he wants payback, and he wants his respect back from Homelander. Stormfront and Homelander, I can't tell where that's going to go. It almost seemed like there was some little chemical romance going on there or something. That little scene, the two of them together in that back office. I don't know, but Something's up.
I don't know. We didn't even talk about Stormfront yet.
I almost feel like Homelander wants to kill Stormfront, but he knows that she could be a good asset to him.
I definitely think that Stormfront is the character this season that is the in a different area is you love to hate her, because she's so like condescending and like I'm right and like you can't persuade me. That camaraderie between the two is the kind of two ideas of like one's like kind of more social media, social justice warrior, and then other one's like kind of more old school and all that. However, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this, Andrew. The final scene of episode 4. What the hell is going on?
I think Homelander's got some strong feelings for himself in that sort of way. But I'm gonna say this: Homelander is one freak of nature. That guy is a giant freak. I mean, just his twisted mind and his just whole viewpoint on society, it's really sickening.
It's messed up.
I couldn't tell you, but I guess he loves himself, you know? I mean...
No, but you also have to remember, he killed himself.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did kill himself.
It's this he has this like sexual aggression.
Yeah.
That like what he wants from life.
I tell you, man, that was a weird scene. I was like, is this actually happening?
It was that was a very interesting side plot.
Well, we'll just have to find out what happens in season 2 of The Boys. So thank you guys for watching our episode of Good Bad Score. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, and subscribe to our channel. And also comment below. Let us know what you thought about season 2 of The Boys so far. What's your prediction of it? What have you enjoyed? What are you anxious to see what's going to happen this season? Let us know. And as always, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Collin.
And we'll see you again soon with our next review.